How's it going, everyone? Today I got a package in the mail I'm super stoked on. It's this little guy, Insta360 X5. I love 360 cameras. I think they're rad. This camera specifically is extra cool to me because I got the opportunity to shoot some of the photos that you see on the packaging. I helped Insta360 with their Ace Pro 2 launch, gathering a few images. They ended up bringing me on to this X5 launch, which I was stoked on. But if you end up getting a camera, this photo right here was one that I shot with my friend Heidi. And then this one right here is a photo I shot with my buddy Harley. It was a great opportunity to shoot some road content for a brand that I really look up to. Stoked with how they came out, and yeah, let's just jump into kind of like high level, how I think I maybe got the gig to start, and then the logistics of making it happen and delivering content that Insta360 was happy with. Let's get into it. So this is obviously the production model, like in the official packaging, everything, but I want to run through the samples that they sent me. They sent me two, and these are them. One was a working sample, one was not. It was purely just for looks. But one of the biggest things I noticed is actually this mic area. Post my opportunity shooting, they added a bigger microphone spot. One other like really small detail that I'm not sure why it is this way, but they scratched out where it said X5. Maybe that's having to do a little bit with NDA use, or by and large the cameras were pretty much the exact same as the production model, but just a few minor details that I thought were kind of interesting. Okay, so we've got the images pulled up here. The day before was like pristine, warm, super nice, especially given the time of year. It was kind of odd how nice it was. But just our luck, the following day, big storm rolls through, and what went from being, man, this is a bummer, it actually kind of turned into like, hey, what rad timing considering we have fresh snow kind of like covering the environment. So here we have Heidi, who's in the front, and we got Tyler in the rear. So for this specific shoot, we went with two riders just to show some of that community component. Another benefit that this gave us was they had multiple different mounts that were handlebar specific. Insta360 has created this mount to where it works only with these bar and stem combos, where some of the other images, like with Heidi, like right here, you can kind of see it. This is a more traditional circular bar. That was another influencing factor on why we had two riders. We had to show multiple different setups as far as mounts and highlighting the camera. So basically what we did, we went and scouted out this location. One misconception is when you're doing a shoot like this, you have to like cover a lot of ground. Oftentimes I think just highlighting a couple key environments or key kind of like shooting zones, you can milk those quite a bit, especially for product related stuff, to get more than enough for what you're after. So the entirety of this whole shoot was all just done on this one specific bend of road. Don't make it more complicated logistically than it needs to be. First image, chest mount, 360 with this horizontal bracket, kind of cool. Slipped in like a little bit of motion blur elements here and there for overlays and text elements. But yeah, just lowered the shutter to something that would increase a little more motion blur. Typically for stuff like this, I'd like to hang out around 1/25th, 1/30th. This is an image where you can start to see like this fill light that we introduced. So this was not natural. Actually had my brother, Cody, running with a flash next to him as we were firing off shots. So yeah, I just thought given this environment and the use case, going for more of like bright, well lit kind of vibe would serve well, especially given that these cameras are dark, you know, they're black cameras. So nice to try to introduce like a little bit more light so that you can see what's going on. So this is directly a 180 view from this shot. So this shot, you got the whole mountain kind of like landscape behind covered in snow. This side, some cool warmer cliffs to kind of contrast that environment. Kind of like what I'm saying, just circling back to, hey, you can make a lot work with one location, depending on the location and depending on the angles. But just like opening your mind to that idea that one shot that I have in mind here might not be the only shot to get. There's probably more. So these were really slow moments, funny enough. So She doesn't need to be, you know, like putting the power down, climbing like crazy, or in the drops tucked super low, flying around these bends. Oftentimes a little slower, especially with photo. Tends to be safer, and you can just get more images out of it. But then keep them in aggressive positions, like Tyler is showing really well here, and Heidi tucked forward, looking good. Then we swapped it up, gave Tyler the camera, got a few images with him. This has just given Insta360 some variety as far as, you know, what faces we're trying to use. And then here's another good example of just changing up angles every now and then. We got some warmer rock behind. He flips right around. Now we've got like the real cold snow-covered pines. By and large, high level, I thought this shoot went really well considering some of the wrenches that were thrown in our way. Basically just stay light on our feet and have some riders that were super down to just like make whatever work, which goes a really long way. One of the hurdles that we ran into with this shoot was we didn't yet have this specific mount that Harley is sporting here. Looks really sweet. I'll put some footage over top, but the footage is rad of him just bombing down this hill. But they wanted more shots of this specific camera mount, and so we orchestrated another shoot with Harley to fill in some of the gaps. That was another actually key component with kit selection, was we need kits that are lighter up top, you know, so that we can get that contrast between the dark cameras and, you know, like Tyler's white shirt or light vest. It's probably one of those elements that you don't really think about when you see content from a shoot like this, but then when you're actually out in the field doing it and say you haven't quite checked that box off, when you've got a black shirt and a black camera and you can't see anything, and then you're kind of struggling to figure out light and so on and so forth. So this shoot, like I said, we knocked it out nice and quick, but we were able to rattle off these additional mounts that they wanted, give a new environment, give something that looked a little warmer, less winter wonderland, and more, you know, kind of like autumn vibe. Same thing, we just picked one corner of road that we were able to kind of like utilize with a couple different angles, utilizing just like some good clean sky, a little more of the valley, and then as we go all the way around the mountain landscape behind us, a few different pedaling positions. So something like this, it's always good to get variety of, you know, someone climbing, someone descending, someone resting, and yeah, that was the collection. So those are the images that we got. In general, nothing like overly complicated in my eyes. Like maybe I'm doing something super special that, you know, other people are dropping their jaw over. But honestly, I don't think that's the case. I feel like all my work is pretty straightforward. Once it's broken down and you kind of see like step by step what it takes to accomplish a shoot like this, it becomes super achievable. You know, it's like, oh, to get on the packaging of an Insta360 X5 box, you know, I think if you would have asked me a couple years ago, I'd have been like, oh yeah, that'd be sick and crazy. Like, I can't imagine knocking that out. But I feel like just consistently getting out and shooting and posting stuff on social media and working with rad people, collaborating, you know, networking here and there, some cool projects can land in your lap, and next thing you know, you've got a cool opportunity to work with some talented writers and with an unreleased product that you've kind of used in the past and really loved, and to work with a brand that is exciting. All right, and those are the images. So that's kind of high level, the project in a nutshell. And sometimes we have an inclination to see the scope of different projects, or basically even just like see the results of projects and say, oh man, that's way too big, I'll never get to that level. I think it's just a good example of like, get out, shoot, post your work, try to get better. You never know who might see that work, be inspired by it, be inspired enough to reach out to you, commission you on a project that might stoke you up. So yeah, that's kind of what I was after, you know, just show some of the details and the logistics behind a shoot like this, show just how achievable it really is, and hopefully inspire people to just keep getting out, shooting, shoot more, post it consistently, try to level up a little bit. That's the project, that's the video, so hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any additional questions. And yeah, maybe like future video ideas that you'd like to see from me. So appreciate it.
Almost fell. That's okay. We're strong. We can climb up this hill.